Hey everyone, I'm John, but my friends call me Tracy, but I'm the voice guru. Welcome to another episode. Today I want to discuss something that is quite crucial when you are a singer or when you're considering becoming a professional singer. So I had this conversation earlier today with a friend. She called me up to just chit chat and she was kind of complaining about her situation. She's a professional singer and she tours a lot, she sings a lot. But still there are certain things that she feels she's lacking or, lifestyle choices that she doesn't like, etc. So I thought it'd be useful to do that kind of video for you. Before we start, I just want to ask you to subscribe to this channel and follow me also on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. I've also included the links below. Number 1. Be as professional as possible. So when you want to become a professional musician, technically you need to learn music and you need to learn technique. So you need to be a professional performer. It's not just about going on stage and holding on a mic and doing whatever. It's about knowing exactly what you're doing because you've took the time to understand, to learn, and to practice before you go out on stage. So be as professional as possible if you really want to get hired. Number 2, it's always good to have support. It could be moral support or financial support. So technically, if you have support from your family and friends, it's really helpful. It's kind of important to have people around you that encourage you and push you to do everything that you love doing and to reach your full potential. So always surround yourself with positive people who believe in you. Which leads us to number 3, have a mentor. A mentor can be either your instructor, your professor, or a colleague of yours, but it should be actually someone who is in the industry, someone who knows the business, who knows the ins and outs, so that they can kind of guide you through instead of just coming up with ideas that most of the times will not work, because the industry from the inside is different from what people think, and so it's always good to have someone who is within that circle. If you're taking courses in a university, for instance, your mentor can sometimes be your professor or your advisor or your program manager. How do you find a mentor? Sometimes it just happens automatically because you two get along. So sometimes it's not engraved in stone that this is my mentor. Sometimes it's just that, oh, this is my professor, or oh, this is my coach or whatever, and he or she is helping me out with finding the right songs or meeting the right people, etc. Number 4, choose a great instructor or a voice coach. So a great instructor is someone you really trust and with whom the chemistry really works, which means that you kind of feel that you are grasping so much information with this person during a session or a lesson. This is how you choose a right coach or a right instructor. This person will bring so much information to you and will make a difference in your life, whether it's mental or physical, and especially vocal, of course. So be very picky with choosing the right person. Singing involves the body, so you don't want to make a mistake and choose someone who is not going to make a difference in your life. So choose wisely. One common mistake that all singers have in common is that they all think that people are going to run for them. Actually, people are going to run away from you more often than not, but don't think that people will come towards you. They will not. There are like millions of other singers that they can hire. So you have to actually get to know people, run after them, and pursue your dream because no one else will. No one cares if you sing well. So to be honest, there are hundreds of thousands of millions of singers that anyone can hire. So if you just sing well, it's apparently not enough, especially now in 2020. So you need to distinguish yourself. You need to make a different sort of effort in order to be recognized, in order to be unique, in order to be liked, so that actually people hire you and call you back. Today, everyone's a singer. It's like my banker's a singer, my dentist's a singer. It's like it became the new thing where everyone sings, which is amazing, but at the same time, it kind of means that it's losing its value. People, kind of see it in a different way from like 20 years ago. So watch out. When you're a singer, you have to be specific, like I'm a professional singer, this is my job. Number 7, Networking is key. Without networking and knowing the right people, you're staying at home. You need to know these people. Your circle of friends and people who you go out with and hang out with should be people like you. In other words, they should be also professional musicians, conductors, producers, and so forth. This is how you get hired, because when they know you, you have a relationship with them, sometimes even a personal relationship, meaning they're your best friends, etc. This is how you get hired, because they're going to trust hiring you instead of running an audition and hiring people that they don't know. So always network with the right people and stay true to yourself and be nice to people at the same time, because sometimes you don't know how things might end up. Be open-minded, whether it's open-mindedness to genres, styles, or other forms of art. If you're an opera singer and you still get cast in a Broadway musical, it's still amazing. You kind of have to be flexible and versatile sometimes, because it's 2020. You can't just be one thing. Which leads me to number 9, you can't just be a singer. Sometimes you have to do other things in life, and but this applies to everything else. It's like you can't just be working in retail. You can't just be a business manager. People nowadays kind of exploit all their talents. Like, take my example, I do so many other things than just singing, which is fine, and I love it. And I feel that I need this variety in order to find mental balance and stability. But at the same time, you should consider what you want. You want to be a singer, you are a singer, it's amazing. But this is now. What about in 10 years or 20 years? Where do you want to be? So don't just focus on one talent that you have. Although I personally don't believe in talent, it's all about having an interest, being a little bit good at it, and then exploiting it and learning and practicing, etc. So consider what are the other options that you want to do as well in life. Sometimes you can be a singer, but you can also be a songwriter. You can also be a teacher. You can also work in community centers, etc. The possibilities are endless, and it's up to you to figure it out. Number 10. This is one of my favorites. Don't let your ego get in the way. No one likes to work with divas. It's 2020, people. So unless you're Beyonce or whatever, no one cares about you. If they're having a hard time working with you, they will not hire you again, and your reputation is ruined, because they kind of all know each other and they're going to talk about you. So watch out. So just like any other job in the industry, if the market is pretty small, they will all know your stories. So watch out what you do. Keep your ego aside. Music is about sharing a moment with your audience and with your colleagues on stage. It's not always about you. People will still see you on stage. You're still a diva, but don't act like one. 11. Singing is not a real job because it's fun. Well, singing is a job because you still have to apply, you have to audition. Sometimes there are several steps in an audition, for instance, a second call, a third call, etc. So it is a job, and if you're not good, they can fire you as well, just like any other industry. Number 12. Sometimes you have to make compromises, whether it's what you're wearing, how you're standing, how you're, acting on stage, or how you're moving on stage. So sometimes if you're working with either a producer, an art director, or a conductor who is very picky with what they want to see on stage, you have to make a few compromises. Number 13. Always make sure you get paid after a gig. Sometimes you can request a deposit before the gig and the rest of the money the day of. But it really depends. The more notorious you become, the more popular you become, you can more impose and control these features and these details. But for now, stick to making sure you get paid. Follow your guts. Meaning, sometimes when you don't feel like doing something, you're allowed to say no. It's fine. If they want you to perform with, wearing something rather unethical, you can say no. Because if this is not what you want to be on stage or what you want to look like on stage, it's fine. Put your boundaries from the start and don't accept just anything because you're just starting out. And the last thing I want to say is that singing should be fun. Whether it's a job, whether you're doing some volunteering, or you're just, playing in a band with some friends, it should be fun. The moment it stops being fun, you should consider what you're doing. Perhaps sometimes you're not working with the right people. If you live in a small town and you still want to make a career, perhaps you should consider moving to a bigger city. But whatever you do, it should always come from the heart, and it should be fun for not only yourself, but also the people you are collaborating with. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I did. Stay tuned for more weekly videos. I usually release my videos on Friday, but sometimes I release extra videos either on a Monday or a Tuesday. So stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Find me on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And you can check out my blog, johnthevoiceguru.com. I'm John Tracy, and thank you all for watching.